Do you want to go?
Sure. This Hangout on Air is live. Okay. Okay, this is Rami Haas and geology on the geologic timescale. Okay, my era that I am to report on is called the Pliocene, and the Pliocene follows the Miocene. And what I can say about the Pliocene in a short version is it's the cooling down of the previous eras. Up into the Pliocene, it was very hot, very hot. This continent, this planet, this world was scorching hot. Come the Pliocene, it was cool, cooler, but still warmer than today temperatures. So we're still warm. So the Pliocene, there was vegetation, there was marine life, there was the growth of tall grass, and there was also the animals that had longer legs and could graze for grass. And that's how they fed themselves. A major factor in the rise of long-legged animals was first seen in this Pliocene era. Also, what happened during the Pliocene era was a land bridge between North and South America. They merged together. And when they merged together, the animals from the north migrated down to the south, and the south migrated up to the north. And we had different types of animals in that era. We had the Amarillos, we had dogs and cats, and there was a creature called a bear dog, which is unusual looking. If you have time, look it up. If you're curious, it's a combination of both, and you can really tell that they really are a bear and a dog. Also during this Pliocene era, there was snow-capped ice on the poles that still remain today. So that's interesting because you have all that warmth, but yet at the North and South Pole, there was ice. Now the tectonic plates that were evident, and as far as scientists can acknowledge, is that they merged together. Asia and Asia and India came together, and through that action, the Himalayas rose up. And when the Himalaya mountain range rose up, it did cool down the atmosphere. Also, North America and South America merged, and they formed a bridge to Panama. Going back to the marine life, when the oceans merged, also they changed the marine life drastically, and some of the older species died off, and then the newer ones are still evident today. Another factor, the grazing animals that walked on the planet, they had longer and larger teeth, and so they could eat the grass. And at this time, there also was the ape monkey that came down from the trees, and that is evident in the start of the human species. During this time, there were higher concentrations of gashouse emissions in atmosphere, and that still kept the climate warm. Now this is very interesting. I found that the warmer climate, when it dried up the Mediterranean seas for centuries, for millions and millions of years. So we didn't have a Mediterranean Sea. We had grasslands and plains. Also during the Pliocene area, there were elephant-like animals running around. Elephant-like. That's another thing if you're interested in to go and observe. Very interesting. They're as big as an elephant. They look a little different. Camels and horses were back there since that time. And that's takes care of most of the animals. Now you might want to ask, like, what did grow on that time? And interestingly enough, at least I think it's interesting, is that there was oak trees and there was lilies and orchids and the rose family. So, I mean, it's interesting to me that we still have these plants. And then you might want to ask yourself what animals lived back millions of years ago. And as I mentioned before, the bear dogs, the Vesper bats, there was lemurs, and there was a true parrot. I'm not sure what a true parrot is, but that's what was written down. Also, the usual animals is ducks and geese and swans and penguins. The reptiles, there was crocodiles and large turtles. And the fish that lived back in the Pliocene area were seahorses, stingrays, bees, and they had mosquitoes. And you might want to ask, I wonder if the virus Zika was present back then. That is so mentioned today in our news. There were fossils formed during this area from the dead carcasses of the animals and plants, and they became fossils. So that is what I have to report on the Pliocene era. In a nutshell, again, it's warmer. It's a lot warmer than all the previous other eras. Okay, this is closing off. Ray Mijas in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you.